Well, this is an important story from early America. It's one of two exploring expeditions that Thomas Jefferson, as president, sent into the West. And this one was stopped by a Spanish force before it could realize its objective. And so it sort of got swept under the rug of history. I mean, historical memory in America remembers Lewis and Clark. Haven't really remembered this particular expedition, but several years ago I did enough research to rescue the story and tried to tell the full story of this expedition. But it was an expedition as a result of being stopped that almost led to a war with Spain in 1807. But Jefferson at the time, who was still president, was more concerned about the British practice of impressing American sailors on the high seas. He believed that Britain was going to be the primary enemy of the next war, and he was right. The War of 1812 was against Great Britain rather than Spain. Well, I think for this particular region, and probably, I have to say the primary explanation for why I wrote this book. This was the first book I ever did. I've written 11 books over my career, but this was the first one, and I wrote it first because I grew up in this part of the world and was sort of astonished when I was in graduate school to discover that Jefferson had actually sent an exploring expedition through the part of the world that I'd grown up in, because nobody knew this. I mean, I was never taught it in school because nobody knew anything about it. And I think part of the reason this is important is that it gives the Red River country of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas, and Oklahoma kind of a chance to participate in the early national history of the United States. I mean, this was very much a destination that Jefferson was intrigued by, and yet the story of this expedition, because of the outcome of it, ended up sort of being swept under the rug, and it disappeared from American historical memory. So I think what we're doing with this story is sort of bringing it back into the light and resurrecting it.
And I refer to this as where and when it all began. And so we learn by that, by being here today, and then by having these historical markers placed here, it will allow our local citizens, our visitors to our community, our families, and future generations an opportunity to come here and learn more about our history, which I think is very, very important.
What an amazing day. What an amazing crowd we've got here to celebrate this day. Thank you very much to the ladies of the Texas Society of United States Daughters of 1812. I always end by saying, say that 3 times fast. About a year ago, Miss Ella, we were standing right here, and she said, hey, I've got a marker I want to donate to the city. And at first I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And who would have thought that a year later we'd be sitting here about to unveil an absolutely beautiful marker. We've had so much help, not only from the ladies, but from Dan Flores. We appreciate you being here today too, sir. Without your research and book, we probably wouldn't be standing here today. Thank you for bringing something that's so important to our country and our community to the forefront, and sharing that with the rest of the world in today's medium through podcasts. I mean, that really is an amazing story. Thank you.